The roar of the Colosseum died. Only the sand remembered the blood. A body lay where the crowd had grown bored and left.
This pain, it's not mine. But this body is.
Beneath the arena, the hypogeum groaned. Ropes and pulleys strained against ignorance, losing half their pull to bad angles.
Wrong sheave placement. A simple gear ratio and you'd triple the output. I can fix this.
He dragged himself to the arena master's office. With a stick, he began sketching in the dirt.
Master Vivius, your beast elevators fight themselves. Change the rope path here, and the load halves.
You barely have strength to stand. Why should I trust a dying slave's scribbles?
Because if I'm wrong, I'll already be dead. But if I'm right, your beasts rise before the next crowd arrives.
The new rope angles were set. With a groan, the cage lifted, fast, smooth, defying the old struggle. By sundown, he wasn't a corpse. He was a curiosity, an asset. The arena master decided to keep alive, for now. The next day, Vivius tested him with a greater challenge, the velarium, the awning overhead. 50 men strained at its ropes.
This canopy must cover 80,000 Romans. Show me how you would make it faster.
50 men. No mechanical advantage. A simple block and tackle and you'd need only a tenth. Reroute the ropes here. Add 2 sheaves, and the force needed drops drastically.
Risk my awning on a drawing. One wrong knot and it rips before the games.
He won't agree without proof. I'll rig a scale model tonight.
By dawn, Kazu had a small replica ready. The model worked flawlessly.
All right, slave. Try your contraption on the real velarium. But if it fails, you'll wish the beasts had finished you.
The new configuration was set. 10 men pulled where 50 had struggled. The massive canvas glided open, smooth as a calm sea.
By Jupiter, you've earned more than gruel. I'll petition for your freedom. From today, you're a freedman. From today, you are a freedman.
The ludus fell silent. Not from discipline, but disease. Men collapsed in the sand, burning with fever. The water tasted of copper and death.
First, the beasts, now this. Kazu, if you can fix that damned awning, can you stop this curse?
Curse? No. Hydraulics. The source of this rot is somewhere in the pipes.
He followed the pipe backward from the cistern, past the latrines, to a cracked arch. Sewage seeped into the drinking supply.
A crack in a stone. You expect me to believe that's what's killing my men?
Believe what you want. But let me seal it. A day's work. No cost, and you'll have your answer.
With lime, sand, and crushed pottery, he patched the fissure. He shimmed the gradient, letting gravity do its work. Within 3 days, the fever broke. The ludus breathed again, its water clean. Word reached the palace. The emperor's household sent a sealed summons. They wanted the man who could tame water and wind.
This is dangerous, Kazu. The palace isn't the arena. You can't just draw your way out of trouble there.
The palace swallowed him in marble and silence. Guards watched every step. The air itself felt heavy with old blood.
You fixed my aqueduct, made my arena's awning fly. But why should I trust a stranger with such knowledge?
This man fears his own shadow. A wrong answer here isn't a mistake. It's a death sentence.
A young healer intercepted him in the corridor. Her voice was warm, but her eyes held a survivor's sharpness.
I am Livia. Keep your voice low. Senator Cassius sees you as a threat. He already has men watching.
In a dark alcove, Senator Cassius watched. His smile was as cold as the marble.
A gladiator engineer who builds for the emperor. How quaint. Let's see how long he lasts.
The emperor gave him a workshop, barely more than a cell, and ordered improvements to the palace's public fountains.
Fix the fountains. A trivial task to test my loyalty. But every move here is a calculation. If I succeed too quickly, I'll be a threat. If I fail, I am useless. Either way, I am a prisoner in silk.
Outside, names were whispered. Influence was weighed, and the Empire's most dangerous men had already noticed the stranger in their midst. In his dusty workshop, Kazu assembled a water clock of polished brass and whispered patience. Day by day, the palace began to hum with small efficiencies.
A water clock isn't just a toy. It's a statement of precision. A gift that says I am useful, but not dangerous. For now.
The Emperor boasts of your clock in the baths, but Cassius whispers it's powered by spirits. He calls you a sorcerer.
A foreigner who conjures miracles from dirt and rope. How long before his sorcery poisons the Emperor's mind?
He's telling the Senate you are a spy sent from a rival province, armed with forbidden knowledge.
Forbidden knowledge. That's exactly what it is. But I can't explain bridges and pulleys to men who believe in curses. If I stay silent, the rumor grows. If I talk, I reveal too much.
Vibius came unannounced, his visits now a risk. The old arena master looked smaller within palace walls, but his words were heavy.
Kazu, you've risen faster than any man I've seen, but people talk. You've made enemies, powerful ones. Don't think your cleverness will always shield you.
I build things that work. Vibius. That's my only magic. But if they want a villain, they'll find one. I just have to be too useful to destroy.
But in the shadows, Cassius was already sharpening his knives. The next blow would not be a whisper. That night, the main aqueduct groaned. A crowbar bit deep, a stone shifted, and water gushed into the dirt. Not the palace. By morning, the fountains lay silent. A palace without water is a palace with secrets, and Cassius already had a culprit.
Kazu. He tampered with my aqueduct. Just as Cassius warned. Find him. I want him dead before sundown.
Kazu, the guards are on their way. Cassius planted a broken pipe. It all leads back to you.
He's framed me with a fracture angle. I can prove it, but I need time. Time they won't give me.
Praetorian boots echoed through marble halls. The order was simple. No trial, no mercy, only a body for the sand.
Then you hide. I know a storeroom beneath the hypocaust. Even the guards don't remember it.
She led him to a cramped chamber behind, stacked amphorae. Dust choked the air, and the only light seeped under the door.
Every system has a flaw. I just have to find it before they find me.
Outside, the hunt had begun. His name was no longer a marvel, but a mark for the blade. That night, he stole back to the aqueduct. By lantern light, he traced the break, its edge clean, angled, a crowbar's signature.
Look at this fracture. It's smooth where nature would leave a jagged tear. Someone levered it open with a tool.
Livia knew a slave who hauled water. The boy had seen shadows moving before the breach.
He saw two men with a crowbar. They wore the tunics of a senator's aides.
Before they could reach the emperor, horns blared. Demetrius strode into the courtyard, still in campaign armor.
They call you a sorcerer. I've heard of your cleverness. Show me why I shouldn't let them kill you now.
This pipe wasn't cracked by time. It was forced. A crowbar leaves a telltale angle. Let me prove it.
An hour before my father. But if you fail to convince him, I'll remove that clever head myself.
1 hour to dismantle a senator's scheme. If I miss a single detail, I am dead.
The palace grew still. The prince's whim had traded a manhunt for a trial, but the blade was merely set aside. The emperor convened a swift audience. Senators gathered, but the air was a blade's edge.
You have your hour, Kazu. Make it count. One misstep and Demetrius's sword finds your neck.
This break was made by a crowbar, not time. The force applied outward, smooth and deliberate.
Desperate words from a known deceiver. Where is this witness? A phantom?
Not a phantom. A water carrier saw your aides at the aqueduct with crowbars.
A slave's word is weak, but it matches the pipe. Kazu, you live. Cassius, you lose the grain dole.
Cassius was stripped of his senatorial cloak, his power clipped but not broken. His eyes promised a reckoning.
Enough of this theater. My legion sails tomorrow. You'll build machines that crush walls, engineer.
Siege engines, tools of ruin. Every stone I launch will kill. but refusal means death. I'll have to find a way to be precise, to minimize the slaughter.
The freedman became a soldier of war, his blueprints now drawn in blood. The campaign waited. Under a foreign sun, Kazu assembled a torsion catapult from raw timber. His calculations were cold, but his hands moved with haste.
I want a machine that throws thunder. Those walls must crumble before the Legion even draws swords.
Tension in the ropes, trajectory of the stone. Every variable must account for human flesh. I'll make it precise, not wanton.
The first shot screamed through the air. Stone met rock, and the rebel wall gaped like a wound. The legions surged forward. Within a day, the fortress fell. Demetrius saw only glory. Kazu saw only glory. Kazu saw the dust of a retreating enemy.
They run like rabbits. We'll chase them into the hills and end this rebellion by morning.
Wait. The hills narrow into a canyon, perfect for an ambush. This retreat is too tidy. They're drawing you in.
You know, levers and ropes. Not war. I'll not let a freedman's fear steal my victory.
He's blind. The terrain is a textbook kill zone. If I push harder, I'll be executed for insubordination. But if I stay silent, we all die.
At dawn, the legion marched into the canyon. Kazu watched from the rear, his warnings scattered like dust under 1,000 boots. The canyon walls erupted. Rollers and levers rained boulders upon the column.
Counterweighted logs, they rigged the cliffs like a timber framework. An engineering trap. And I walked us into it.
Kazu rode into the chaos, searching for Demetrius among the screaming horses.
Demetrius, the ridge is collapsing. Get back.
A slab caught the prince's horse, then his torso. The golden armor caved inward. The heir to Rome lay still, his bravado shattered beneath tons of stone. Panic shifted to fury. Fingers pointed at Kazu. He led us here. He's in league with the rebels. He was torn from his saddle, his helmet ripped away. Blows landed, and the world blurred. When consciousness returned, iron bit his wrists. He was being dragged south toward the emperor's grief. The engineer who had saved the Valerium was now the architect of disaster, bound for a traitor's death. The cell stank of old pain. Iron shackles bit his ankles, and the only light was a slit of dying day.
You murdered my son with your cowardice. At dawn, you'll be crucified before the gates.
Please. He tried to warn Demetrius. The canyon was a trap he couldn't stop.
The guards struck Livia across the mouth. She crumpled, her healing pouch scattering across the stone. Kazu heard her cry through the stone. Then silence, heavier than the shackles.
Stop feeling. Think. This wall is old Roman brick. The mortar is lime poor, already crumbling. That crack propagates along a load path. If I can widen it with a lever, the chain link, it's iron but forged. If I snap one end against the stone, I'll have a chisel.
For the first time since his capture, his hands steadied. Destruction wore the mask of design. Dawn loomed like an axe. But in the dark, Kazu had found his first equation of freedom. He snapped the iron link against the floor until a jagged edge formed, a crude chisel. Then he worked the mortar, scraping at the crack.
The mortar is ancient, sand and weak lime. By levering at the right point, I can displace the whole block.
For hours, he scraped and pried. The crack widened, and the stone became a loose tooth. With a final, agonizing push, the block ground sideways. A black opening yawned, exhaling the breath of the underworld.
A sewer. The smell confirms it. Waste and stale water. The flow will lead downward, toward the Tiber.
He squeezed through, skin scraping on rough stone, and dropped into the channel. Above, boots thudded. A guard's shout echoed through the empty cell. The alarm was raised.
They'll search the corridors first. If I follow the gradient, I'll find an outfall before they think to cover it.
He ran his fingers along the wall, reading the slope like a blind man. Every step drew him deeper into the labyrinth. The shouts faded, replaced by the drip of water. He was free, but swallowed by the ancient veins of the city. Through a grate above, two Praetorians paused. Their words dropped like stones into the dark. At dawn, we move. Valerius commands the fifth to seal the palace. The emperor dies on his throne. The second voice laughed. And that fool engineers escape. Perfect distraction. Guards are everywhere but the throne room.
They planned this. Maybe even the ambush. I was just a pawn to draw the legions away. The emperor condemned me to die. Let him face his own death. Why should I save a tyrant? But if he falls, civil war erupts. Thousands will die. I can stop it. I can stop it. I can calculate choke points, bottle the corridors.
He emerged from a grate into a silent alley. The city slept, unaware of the dagger at its throat. Wrapped in a filthy cloak, he skirted patrols, his steps guided by memory of Livia's descriptions. He reached the nondescript door behind the apothecary. His hand trembled as he knocked.
Kazu? You are alive, they said.
Kazu stepped inside, his voice dropping to a whisper. The candle flickered, and Livia listened like a woman hearing her own death sentence.
The Praetorians move at dawn. They'll kill the emperor and blame it on his madness. I overheard Valerius's men.
Why warn him? He struck me, condemned you. Let Rome burn.
I won't die for him. But the people, the aqueducts, the roads, the peace, they need continuity, not chaos. My hate is smaller than their blood.
Then there's a passage, an old servant's route beneath the baths. It leads to the emperor's chamber. I can draw it.
Kazu studied her lines, his mind already overlaying load paths and choke points. The palace became a machine of survival.
Here, the corridor narrows. A single beam, wedged at 45 degrees, could bottleneck 20 soldiers. I can rig furniture, oil, ropes.
If you fail, they'll kill us both. You are still a condemned man.
So be it. If the empire falls, everything I built, the aqueduct, the clock, will crumble. I'll walk into the lion's den and build its cage.
They slipped into the freezing night, following a path of shadows toward the palace's hidden artery. Dawn was hours away. The hidden passage exhaled into the emperor's chamber like a ghost's breath. The room stank of spilled wine and sleepless paranoia.
Who is there? Assassins. I knew my guards would betray me.
It's Livia, my lord, and the engineer you condemned. We come with warning, not steel.
Valerius plans to kill you at dawn. He's already moving troops. Let me show you how to trap them in these walls. This choke point reduces their numbers to a single file. A heavy beam, wedged at 45 degrees, becomes a wall of death.
Do it. Anything to keep them from my throat. I never trusted Valerius.
Within the hour, the corridor became a machine of slaughter. Trip ropes linked amphorae, oil slicked the floor, and a chandelier hung by a single slipknot.
I'll hold the door. Kazu, if this fails...
Then we'll have given the Empire a few more hours. That's more than they had before.
The pounding grew. Valerius's voice boomed from beyond the outer hall. The doors splintered. The first wave charged and hit the oil slick. Men skidded, crashed, and the trip ropes yanked amphorae into their shins.
Now the chandelier. Livia, cut the line.
The iron chandelier plummeted, a rain of spikes and oil lamps. The corridor became a furnace of splintered armor and screams, but Valerius stomped over the bodies, his blade carving through smoke. He was Legion. He would not be stopped by tricks.
Clever rat. But your strings won't save the Emperor. I'll hang you with them.
Back to the inner chamber. Now.
The guards. They'll be slaughtered. You said they could hold the line.
They bought us seconds. We seal this door now, or we all die right alongside them.
He pulled the lever. A crash of stone and beam sealed the passage, muffling the clash of steel and the cries of dying men. The Emperor was alive, but Kazu heard their defenders die and knew his own humanity was crumbling mortar behind him. The barricade shuddered. Valerius's rams splintered the door, and through the gap, a javelin flew. The Emperor gasped. The javelin had found his chest, a dark bloom spreading on his purple robe.
The angle, the depth, it's pierced the lung. mortal wound. I can't save him.
You saved me from the blade. Now Rome must be saved from the void.
Valerius vaulted the wreckage, sword raised. The loyal guards threw themselves upon him, and the last clash of steel filled the chamber. In the end, Valerius fell, not to a hero's strike, but to the sheer weight of men finally loyal to their dying emperor.
My son is dead. I have no heir. You built this city back from plague. Build the empire.
The hand fell, the emperor's eyes fixed on a point far beyond the smoke.
He named you Kazu, but the Praetorians outside will never accept a freedman. We have minutes before they regroup.
The crown of Rome lay in the dust, and the only hands that could lift it were those of a dead man's engineer. Kazu lifted the laurel crown, then laid it on the dead emperor's chest, a promise, not a theft. Then he turned toward the smoke. He walked into the courtyard, where the last Praetorians stood leaderless. Their swords were up, but their eyes were hollow.
Valerius is dead. The Emperor is dead. But the aqueducts I rebuilt still flow. The grain dole I calculated will arrive. Your families need both.
One sword dropped, then another. The clatter of steel applauded a rule built not on birth, but on backbone. In the Senate, Cassius stood to object, still fierce, but Livia stepped forward with a sealed scroll, the emperor's final testament.
By his last breath, Aurelius named Kazu his heir. This document, witnessed by his personal guard, confirms it.
A healer and a freedman's forgery. Rome will never bow to a slave.
I was left for dead in the Colosseum, but my engineering lifted beasts, fixed your sewers, defended this city. I build. You debate. Which saved Rome?
The Senate chamber fell silent. Then, one by one, the senators stood, bowing their heads. The vote was unanimous. A purple toga was laid upon his shoulders. The crown, not taken, but built one beam and lever arm at a time, now rested on the engineer's head. Within months, Rome's skyline hummed with cranes. Kazu surveyed the new aqueduct, each arch calculated, each stone placed by his own tables.
You've given them water, but the Senate still whispers. Cassius calls you a philosopher king, and he means it as insult.
Let him. This road will bring grain faster than any legion. Empty bellies breed rebellion. I'll feed them, and they'll forget his poison.
The new road cut through hills and marsh, a straight line of crushed stone and drainage. Caravans moved where armies once trampled. In his workshop, Kazu unveiled a model of a new Colosseum, not for slaughter, but for chariots, plays, and public fountains that recycled water.
You turn the games into a theater. Where is the glory of death?
Glory is a leaky aqueduct. I build permanence. Sit and watch, Senator, or be the chisel that breaks against granite.
That night, alone, he laid a sketchbook on his desk. In the margin, a faint drawing, Vibius smiling beside a younger Demetrius.
You've built an empire of stone. But do you ever rest, Kazu? I barely recognize the man who crawled from the sand.
The sand is still in my lungs. Every day I breathe it out. Or I choke. That's the cost.
A year later, the new Colosseum opened, not with blood, but with water. Fountains cooled the stands, recycled by pumps of his own design.
This empire I was left to die for, not of slaughter, but of flow. Water and grain move like blood through a body.
But Cassius plotted in the shadows. He gathered the last of the old guard to poison the emperor at the games. An engineer sees all systems. A slave noticed the tampered wine jar seal and warned Livia.
The poison is an alkaloid, slow and untraceable. But the stopper was disturbed, a pattern you taught me to see.
Bring Cassius to me, not in chains. He despises spectacle, so I'll give him a public hearing.
In the Senate, Cassius stood defiant, but his co-conspirators, faced with the evidence, broke rank.
You tried to drown me, Crush me, poison me, poison me. Your design always failed. Power isn't seized, it's engineered.
Cassius was exiled to a remote villa. The Empire breathed, finally free of his shadow.
I didn't seize the throne. I built it, one beam and lever arm at a time. And now, the machine runs.
Kazu walked the hypogeme alone, where levers once lifted beasts. Now gears whispered and water purred in the dark.
The crowds cheer water, not wounds. You've transformed even this place of death into a monument of life.
I still feel the sand in my throat. Every morning, I taste it. It reminds me why the gears must never stop.
Before sleep, he traced a bridge design, not for Rome, but for a city he'd once known, a lifetime ago.
I can't go back, but every arch I build here is a bridge to that lost world. It's enough.
The aqueduct, his first true monument, stretched under the stars. Water flowed where plague had once brewed. At dawn, a child in the Sabura drank clean water, not knowing the hands that had built the empire now turned to a new day. The engineer had been left for dead, but the machine he built would outlast emperors, and in the quiet, the man from nowhere, who built a throne from stone and numbers, found peace in the simple sound of sliding water. He was no emperor born. He was an architect of survival, and Rome would never thirst again. In the silence of evening, Kazu stood on the balcony with Livia. The city's lights mirrored the stars he once navigated by.
You turned a den of beasts into a garden of water. Will you ever stop building?
Never. Construction is my language. This isn't an empire, it's a machine that breathes.
In the hypogeme, gears turned silently, lifting water instead of beasts. His design would run for centuries, indifferent to time. Below, a mother lifted her child to the fountain. Clean water gushed from a lion's mouth, a promise Kazu never broke. Kazu leaned on the stone, feeling the faint vibration of the aqueduct's flow. It was the pulse of his creation.
I died in the sand. This body, this city, it's all borrowed time. But I've made it count.
The road stretched east, the aqueduct west, both traced by an engineer's ghost, now immortal in stone. Livia took his hand. No words were needed. The empire hummed on, a testament to the man who refused to be a corpse. And so the engineer reigned, not by blood, but by the permanence of his works. Rome's true emperor was not a man, but the aqueducts that never failed.